we have just begun the best time of the year for Bitcoin. It's October. October traditionally is very, very good. Very good indeed. You look at the right-hand side, I'm taking my camera away, you can see October generally, with the exception of 2018, we had a little bit down, 2014 a big down, but other than that, man, we're talking about 20, 30, 50, 40% gains, right? And seeing how brutal it has been so far this year, can we see a tremendous rally in October, heading into November or December, right? Especially if the DXY is coming down, and with the Santa rally around the corner, well, these are all good things. And I've talked about, for those of you guys that follow the full moon, we just passed the autumn equinox, and traditionally speaking, historically speaking, I should say, after autumn equinox, Bitcoin goes like this. Okay, so these are all great signs right now that show that Bitcoin is ready. It's ready, especially with all this nonsense, right? Even if you discount everything I've said about historical returns or you know, models and fundamentals and all these things, right? But just look at what's going on around the world with inflation, what the Fed and central banks, what governments are trying to do right now. They're all running around with their heads cut off. No one is on the same there's no communication. No one is communicating with each other. No one has a plan, really. And it's just really screwy at this point. All right. What else is there? Bitcoin outperformed traditional crypto stocks in 2022. Another reason why, if you want Bitcoin exposure, just buy Bitcoin. Rather than try to get exposure through Coinbase or Riot or even MicroStrategy. Bitcoin has outperformed pretty much all of them in 2022. So if you want Bitcoin exposure, just buy Bitcoin. And it's better to just buy and hold Bitcoin. So far, that's been true. That's been true. And then lastly, this is just showing oversold levels for Bitcoin using RSI. And again, we're at the same point as 2015 when Bitcoin hit that bottom and it stood there for quite some time. 2018 and 20, same thing, maybe not as long, but right now, same thing, right? We got a lot of on-chain metrics, models, indicators, moving averages that all indicate Bitcoin is ready to move up. And then you add on top of that the full moon, you add on top of that the DXY coming down, you add on top of that, people are just getting restless and distrustful in the governments, right? You add all it together, means one thing for Bitcoin. The good news is DXY is coming down. So that's important. This morning, we were up a little bit to like 112, 111, 112 or something. We have come back down a little bit. So obviously, DXY coming down is a good thing. And maybe it's coming down because a lot of people are starting to realize that fixing inflation is an impossible thing. And that the dollar shouldn't be as strong as it is. I don't know. I don't know actually why it came down. But the good news is whenever DXY does come down, right, it's good for Bitcoin. And we have seen periods where DXY tops out, comes down in a big way, and guess what happens? The next bull run for Bitcoin starts. Look at the arrows, right? Look at some of these previous, like the black arrow back in 2018. DXY came down. Guess what happened? Bitcoin went on a tremendous run. Are we going to see DXY come down again? If so, are we ready for that next tremendous run? It's about time. It's about time, right? And not only that, I've been telling you guys, watch out for these big guys. They'll say one thing and do another. So now there's a new study surveying banks. And the banks that they surveyed, and there's not a lot of banks. They only surveyed 19 banks. Imagine how many banks are around the world, but only 19 banks that they surveyed admitted they had $9.2 billion worth of crypto. That's only 19 banks. And did these banks disclose before? Probably not. So just gives you a sample of how much is being bought behind the scenes, okay? Even though, like I said, day-to-day volatility still exists and people don't believe anyone's buying. But trust me, these big boys, they know crypto's not going to go away. What they're doing is accumulating behind the scenes. And many of these big boys could be the ones behind the price manipulation, because what do they like to do? They like to misdirect, point you in that direction while going in this direction. So say all the negative things, but be buying behind the scenes, right? That's what I believe is going on. And the fact that BlackRock is now involved, well, tells you something, okay? If BlackRock openly admits that they are invested in Bitcoin and offering Bitcoin services, that tells you how much they already accumulated, okay? And then Fidelity and everyone else that's involved, these are big giants, So another reason why you want to stay with Bitcoin and crypto, because these large institutions are gobbling up everything, and you don't want to sell your life-changing wealth to them, okay? That's what they're trying to do. You don't want to fall for it. The number of Bitcoin that has not moved in over a year at 62%, all-time high. Every time you have a large amount of holders just holding and not selling, that's usually when a bottom is formed, right? So these are all fantastic things. Fantastic things that's going on right now. Coinbase incorporates in Australia. So those of you guys in Australia, you'll be able to use Coinbase soon, although I don't know. I've been getting less bullish on Coinbase recently, simply because they're being out-innovated by others, especially like Binance, just really taking over their territories, even in the U.S. So, but Coinbase still has a few tricks up its sleeve, so let's see what they can do. Voyager update. Supposedly, FTX will be giving back 70% of people's assets, so that's better than expected. So bottom line is, if you had, like, let's say $1,000 worth of crypto, you'll get $700 back if you start an FTX.US account. That's what it sounds like. But unfortunately, they're not trying to do anything with VGX. So if you do own VGX, you're not going to get much. They're trying to buy all the VGX in circulation for $10 million, which of course is pennies on a dollar. So I don't even know what VGX is at 53 cents. It's at 147 million market cap. They're trying to buy this for 10 million, so less than 10%, right? So that means if you have $1,000 in Voyager tokens, if they buy it, you'll get back like $80 or something like that. So not a whole lot, but the 70% looks good. At least you could get possibly 70% of your crypto back with FTX. So that's somewhat of a win. It's not zero. If you're looking to buy Bitcoin and crypto for the first time and you don't know where to get started, head over to CryptosRus.com and click on the best exchange guide. Within, you'll find a list of exchanges that I recommend and some that I use on a daily basis. Head over to CryptosRus.com or utilize the links in the description of this video.